Cek mic lah nyeng meh telila hayu pokoknya mah. Hai. Story A udah tamat, sekarang tinggal lanjut ke story B. Story lainnya si kaine tapi dari mana nih, dari awal pisan gitu apa langsung langsung di sini aja.
I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time.
Apa? Santet.
Anyway.
Mimpi si kaine dulu. Steep cliff that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisp of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden hawk-shaped wither vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane which had existed for as long as any could remember and start. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stay west, the child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the van slowly cracked to life, spinning this way and that. For a moment, it finally settled with a beak pointing firmly toward the east. East, really? Before the vine could move again, and jagged rock came spinning to and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. Hah? Nyeun sorangan ngan rasana sarua. Tapi barudak dahar heula aing lapar. Oh no, they found me. Hmm? Mantap. Dah. Yoho kaine. Đi muốn. Oh, Kang Bully. You like getting all wet, anjing. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless, a failure. Bully moved forward. He was inches away. She could smell the scent about meat on. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Timo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Kayak lah simpen lah weh. Ngap anjing sakit oke gitu. Simpen lah. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified. Single blood-caked eye, Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Kunaon si Dimo? Blood caked IO. Waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concern. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? No, I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastard even touch my kaine again, oh, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. Oh, saha anjing yang nyelamatin old woman? Oh, grandma itu anjing. Anjing. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Dimo and his companions turned tail and ran away. Oh, kaine, why didn't you fight back? You are stronger than that a lot. Mm. Don't be nice to me. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears held in check for so long. Her cheek finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hand on her shoulder. Diminutive size. She was a woman of surprising strength, and kaine found herself unable to turn away. You know, because you survived it, ending. As the words hit home, kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother. But when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud, with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depth of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard time, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things, and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Course not, don't be an ass. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten soul around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't. Shh, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You are my granddaughter and I love you, and if folk have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flower in Kaine's hair. Skill it took to bend the flower without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh, lunar tear kah? Betul. These are lunar tear. Lunar tear were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had someone collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the red as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find this? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said grandmother, and she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kinda blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're going to be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet as they began the long walk home. Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wine. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the wither vine, watching it spin in a lazy circle, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Good. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Yeah. Even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly decking away on the breeze. Masih dream? Was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung by the barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid pieces of shit eggs. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with her axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. "Grandma! That you, Kaine?" yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. "Don't get too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake." She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. Once one spoon passed Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Good. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she chopped her hand around her mouth and shouted, "Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something." The axe poised to strike another wobbly blow. Paused in midair, the old woman considered her granddaughters over for a moment, then smiled. "Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Seds have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of them bastard." Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden bucket on either end. Di sini nih neneknya berubah gerak. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason she didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Alasannya itu. Seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter. And rare were the days when but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and then she finally managed to connect with a solid rock. The tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Crap. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. "This is tough, and my logs are all weird size." Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her bucket with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and called out whistly low, "Pretty clumsy girl, you better practice if you..." Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the bucket to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the eggs and ran to her grandmother's side. "Grandma!" The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. "Get the bucket. Can't let it spill." Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress. But Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening?" crazed with panic. She grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. "Stop that! Just stop!" she cried, breathing heavily. "It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Just tired from the trip is all." Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hand and worn face told her more than words. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushing her down. "It's alright," she said. "I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seems an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadow. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. "I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong," she chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. Oh, anjing langsung. "Hey lady," said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me? This thing, what the fuck?" they seemed to say, but Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion, fear. "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. "Oh my god," he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Barked Demo. That old bitch finally keeled over. "Go to hell, Demo." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing kindness under his breath. Diusir. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in the shipperable language. An ocean and aromas assailed her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely, in a world so fast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. "You like that picture?" Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now." Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are wonderful things," continued the shopkeeper. "They let the ones closest to you live on forever." He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled, handling her medicine. He reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayon. "You should have this. There's no one left that I wish to draw." Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. "Yes, I've heard the rumor about you," he said. "It's a small village, and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable." "Grandma's name is Kali?" Thought Kaine suddenly. Si anjing selama ini dia nggak tahu. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hand. "Your grandmother is an old friend of mine." "Oh," he said as Kaine scooted away yet again. "And I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her." "Yes, I think she would like that very much." Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart were bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and within those tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught her up. Nah, pasti sama Shed. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. "Back already, are you?" asked grandmother with a yawn. "Come here, let me have a look at you." Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. "Well, how is it? Does Bastard give you any trouble?" "It was kind of fun," said Kaine with a small smile. "No, seriously, it was fun, eh?" asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but so anytime you need me to run and Iran, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayon from the pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crown, but grandma, it will make you live forever. Horse shit, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayon, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Anjing sih, bisa gambar. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible, it doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought this crayon would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of color. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly whistled out a log. Oh, Kaine, she said, bit louder. You truly are my blood. You are as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush. I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking louder. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before, and it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people, and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Jing masih dreaming, goblok. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool girl, it's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug, said Kaine. And I think it's burned or something because it smells terrible. With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, alright? Why, you little brat? Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact. 5 years has passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. Is as is often the way with two stubborn people. Their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibility. Her grandmother's leg grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaina lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burnt berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaina looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was gonna check out the calma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held on an arm and swept it around their home, constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble. The old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "God damn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades." Betul. "People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the calma trees, we won't eat tonight, you know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course, you are right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my money is..." She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking her wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petal had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're gonna be a true woman soon," Grandma said, and she placed the flower in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about the shade and building defensive walls and more talking about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaina reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You are beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough. Goddamn compliment for one day. Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. I'll teach you to sass me, girl." Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room and crazy grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kaine in quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it, what the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out, as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. "Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just..." Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. "Listen," she began. "Maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have you to stay here to keep an eye on an old coder like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot, I'll be fine. And when you come back, I will have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you." Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying to desperately to ignore the worry that was now gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself. But in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looks so old now. It's like the wine could reach down and just carry her away. What the heck? Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her finger and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead, tracing its path with a finger. Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in itself. Kadurukan rumahna. Kaine ran faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shed. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. "Alright, you bastard," she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliff around them. "It's you or me, let's go." Anjing battle. The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest. Then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. "Grandma!" At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. "She's alive," thought Kaine. "Alive!" Kaine like sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs work. What the heck? Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up now! As kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw anjing. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet only to fall back to earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Wanjing. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breath belched from somewhere deep inside its core, bastard looking at us. She had no idea how much a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life. Oh, Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster, pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist. She leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back, she screamed. Give her back to me. It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted louder again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaine! Oh! Jing, lama goblok, udah 1 jam cuma baca-baca doang, bajingan. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out her through the smoke. Grandma, Kaine, you gotta run. You can beat this one. What the fuck, anjing, ada tiponya wae. Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands slick with his blood slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandma, no, I said run. God damn it, you have to leave, you have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished before she could say another word. The shad's cloud foot descended, smashing through the remains of the root and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from gaps in the crater toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the food, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly real. When the creature finally lifting its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memory flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliff and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step it crept toward its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creator, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment. Laughing like a mad woman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth. Tai lama banget anjing stat blood. Wait. Think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to leave. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. Kill it, 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 kill it. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Lama banget anjing gak punya pentil sih Kaine.
The beast approaches.
The beast approaches. Lain pakai sini lagi. Goblok tolol. Gajal anjing. Katanya pakai Kaine.
Anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today.
My sword is lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Mas goblok. Mana Bapak Toksia? Apa cuma perspektif doang? Nggak seru banget anjing kalau kita nggak pakai si kaine. Anjing one hit. Cukup. Oh enggak. Belah dua anjing. Anjing. Bong. Anjing.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine,
Sejam
you
setengah
gotta live.
anjing,
You gotta
tai-taian
come
doang.
back to us.
Bajingan.
Oh, hey. Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great.
Oh, di sini sih Kaine pakai lunar tear di telinga.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Oh, ngusir teh.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious!
Tapi kayaknya kemarin beneran deh pola deh. Soalnya kostumnya sama, cuma nggak ada yang putihnya doang gitu. Kayaknya yang putihnya outer.
Please try to understand. People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
This is crap, and you know—
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
I used to sleeping
We'll
outside.
see you later.
Sorry about this.
Lah pakai si ini lagi anjing.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
Teks lagi
Didn't get
tonjok
much sleep
aja.
that night.
Oke. Yang ini tahu.
For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades. Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
Outside.
should apologize to Kaine and Emil, but what good would that even do?
I got a fire going. Kaine.
Wait, is that?
Campfires are... I'm so happy to get to talk to you
Ding
again.
sambil
Kaine.
dahar aing. Ini kenapa sih harus dalam kayak ini?
Yeah, me too.
Sambil mencet.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession. My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was. No matter how bad things got, she gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay, can we just forget I told you about that?
Dia tidur di sini anjing. Kirain di kainnya.
Sleep well, and yet you're... Don't be...
I need to...
Sini lagi anjing. Kita nggak bisa pakai si itu kah?
It's my... She got the blood.
My...
So this is... Reading it helps remind me.
I see.
But the final entry...
In what way?
Well, take a look.
Dah.
Say there. Can you not hear me?
Nah. Anjing jadi si ini.
Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Right. Let's go.
Yang di NieR. Yang di NieR 2010. Lah. Bet bayar sini aja. Kapan nyampenya ya? Wah, anjing apa tuh? Goblok. Anjing harus dihabisin sama aing bener-bener. Au. Oh, di bawah si goblok. Anjing. Lah, easy ternyata. Malah jadi kayak Devil May Cry anjing. Lah, si rumah si Emil. Kok jadi gini anjing warnanya goblok. Lah, anjing one hit die. Goblok masih banyak. Wah, anjing apa nih? Goblok ini pohon ngehalangin. Anjing, goblok ada di sini. Sumpah ya pohon goblok. Lah anjing gak bisa. Lah lagunya sih ya bola popola jadi gini. Oh ini sebelum hancur ini. Library sebelum hancur, so kita pakai ini dulu. Oh dia ada tamengnya anjing. Udah goblok. Si tai apaan sih? Two down. Anjing. Lemah goblok. Kabur tuh lu. Lah, aing gak kehindar lagi. Mok. Santai kan. Darah aing aman ya, harusnya aing pakai ini dari tadi. Si goblok. Fool's embrace. Very heavy. Memek. Gelap banget anjing. Tah si goblok. Oh. Gak bisa dari depan. Memek lah. Jago anjing. Dayu Beach. Anjing, kenapa sih harus yang kayak gini pula? Goblok. Holy hell. Darah KB kah? Iya, medicinal herbs semua. Iya. Memek. Aku tergelincir, guys. Iya anjing. Mana bisa gitu, Bang? Udah segitu doang anjing. Goblok. Anjing lu, anjing lu, anjing. Gak ada apa-apa pula. Oh the hell, anjing. Anjing. Gitu loh. Si anjing masih dong. Masih aja anjing. Tai. Cing. Kabuki outfit. Oh. Kayaknya baju yang tadi yang buka. Emang Aing baru level berapa ini? Level level 28. Cara balik laginya nanti gimana?
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant...
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Tetep pakai sini anjing katanya. Perspektif Emil. Emil. Di kaine. Bola. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Oh, I pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
You don't let him.
All right.
Boricil ini udah ada di situ.
What is the purpose of this?
Beats me.
Segini lagi nih padahal gue udah selesaiin semua.
Popola?
Oh,
Look,
stop.
Yeah, but neither did you. You're just trying to protect the villagers.
It's very kind of you to say so. Regardless, please don't let it trouble you.
Ahem. I believe that
Oh, you know about the lost...
the temple...
That's it.
Oh,
But the bridge
So, take a...
a boat?
Yes, it took a lot... I also... The ferryman will... That should make...
All right.
And...
The path above the entrance to the shopping district should lead to the boat landing.
how excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
Alah, lanjut lagi besok aja live-nya. Besok malam minggu. Mudah-mudahan kita bisa selesaiin ending B. Okay. See you on the next video. Cheese, bye. Aduh, salah gue belum.